Well guys, if you look behind me, I know it's a bit dark. There's not much I can do about that at the moment because the insulation is black. But if you look behind me, we've finished all the insulation. The roof is done, the side walls are done. There is some left over here, and this will go underneath the bus for the floor, which would be nice as well. And today what I'd like to do is finish the electrics, the cabling, figure out where all the lights are going to go, the plug points and that kind of stuff. We've decided we're going to put our main panel, basically the converter, the inverter and all the plug points, the fuse box if you like, right here by the door, right here where these brooms are. So all the cabling has to be run all the way back here. We've got two fridges, two little ones, one big plug point at the kitchen area, and then at the back another one for charging our laptops, cameras, phones and all of that stuff. On the other side we'll have obviously some lighting for the shower, and at the back maybe another plug point for charging some stuff as well. So we have options on both sides. Basically there's not too much wiring to be done, not too many electrics, although I might be wrong on that point. Another thing I've done, there we go, if you can see that, I run it through the bulkhead, but to protect the wire I've put a piece of hose pipe through there. So now the wire itself is quite safe. I think it will move around, all the rattling and stuff when you're driving around, which I find a lot safer. This is the original lighting from the van as it came from the coach builder, I guess. Yeah, no protection, no grommets in there. Basically I couldn't find anything else to do that. So that's the way it's been done now, and I think it works. I think it's okay like that, huh? What do you think? If we're talking about wiring, what have I decided on? Well, basically you can go any route you like. You can do separate earth, separate live, separate mass if you like. Red and black wiring all separated, or you can do it all in one like this, typical household wiring. This is what you have on an extension cable perhaps. It's got this one has an earth as well. And basically if you're going to be plugging anything into an extension cable, why not use the cable itself as the main thing. It's all in one and it's wrapped in a nice little sheath. So we bought a couple of those, 10 meters long, 5 meters long. Also for the lighting, just opted for the thinner one. Basically two little wires running in there. It tells you on here, which is quite handy, this is rated to 1300 watts, and I don't see that happening with a couple of LED lights are hanging off this, or the ceiling fans either. The other cables, as you might be able to read there, 3600 watts, that's enough for a couple of fridges. I mean, the fridges themselves, they draw 200 watts each. If we have something else, we have a separate cable for that as well. So there's a lot of separate cables going on here. They reach quite over, maybe more than we need. I'd rather have this than worry about the other way. And they're protected as well, which is a nice thing, you know, and it makes it a lot easier. On the other hand, these were not that expensive either at the local hardware. Basically we live in the countryside and we're kind of reliant on our local hardware, and the stuff is really expensive there. I don't know, just because of the distance from the major city maybe. But still, this is what we've got for here. For the plugs, these are these simple things here, which are rated as a wall plug, and it should easily suit our needs. So these are going above the kitchen. We'll put one for the fridges, and one on the other side of the van. Enough of those. And then obviously we have some USB converters, and those are the main thing, because you all know how many mobile phones you've got, iPads, laptops, camera batteries, you name it, it's all running off USB at the moment, which is quite easy, but you need a lot of little wiring, right? So let's get going. And over here we have quite a few cables, and if you think about it, we need a lot of stuff running in here. One of them is for the ceiling fan, the other one is for the light in the shower, the other one is for the lights halfway down the van, the other one is for the lights right at the back by the back door, and we just got to keep thinking, have I forgotten anything? So that little that little blue strip running there is actually where the roof panel sits in, as you might have seen on the other video where we stripped it, and the curve will sit in there, so everything we do behind here is nicely hidden and it's out of the way, won't get damaged or anything. So before we do anything, we need to run our cables, do all the electrics, do all the thinking where we're going to put all the lights and everything, because you need a lot of lights and stuff in the van, right? So that's quite handy. Well, part of the cabling of the electrics is obviously running and following the old wiring, trying to figure out what they were up to. There's one that goes to the water pump there. There's quite a lot of cables here which they had installed obviously for their different things. So what I'd like to do basically is just replace all that, do it all over again. New wiring, everything there's no corrosion or rusting or whatever it is, and there's no chance of shorting if you do it all again, you do it right as well. So this may have been a good idea, but we're just going to do it differently and replace the wires. Another thing you might need when doing your electrics is a good tool set with electric screwdrivers and all of that stuff. Basically what we're looking at here is an LD special, which I bought about 8 years ago. I'm not sure what it costs, maybe 10-15 bucks, if that. It's made by Topcraft, very good brand of course. But I'll tell you what, it's got everything you need in it. It's got a little tester, got the stripper, side cutters, all of that. Very small screwdrivers. And it works. I mean, I've used this on our car, at our house, everywhere for other people. And I haven't replaced it yet because it's just a good investment. So if you can get that invested, that'll help a lot. Because what you mainly need is a very tiny one of these to get to those very small screws, right? It's quite a rat's nest obviously. When you put it together you know exactly what's going on, and the second guy to come along, he has to figure it all out. So I'm just going to take it out and start again. It is done well though. I mean, I've got little fuses here, little fuse box, which is quite cool. Obviously I've disconnected the battery before we start, because that would be a pretty good idea anyway. So let's start unscrewing these things. Well, that's cleaning up nicely there. They had a little bunch of wires. I'm not sure what was what, but it had a system in it. I'm not sure what the big red one is. Probably goes down to the main battery. So I'll have to check that out first before we carry on. Yep, there you have it, red wire on the main battery there. Not sure why, but we'll have to take that off, I think. So there we have it. We've undone these two, so these can go back up through the floor. Found an old cable here as well, which is interesting, which means we can probably follow the same route with our new ones from this side to crossing over to the other side of the van. So let's put another one down. This one we'll have a look at. Don't you hate it when people use different screws? All of them were Phillips except for the last three, which were these little ones. And then there was one big one left with one of these little ones. So you keep looking around searching for your drill and your screwdriver and your little bits and everything just to get one screw out. Yeah. Well, there it is. Those are the van electrics. not really much to it, eh? Yeah, as I said, there's not really that much to the van electrics. I mean, look, this is all the old stuff, and that's not really that much, is it? We might do a little bit more than that, but anyway, it's nice to have the old stuff out. We've cleared that section next to the driver's seat, and let's start mapping out where we're going to have our wires put in. Yeah, love it when you get it in a tangle, man. Look at this. Great. There's one way to unroll these things, and then there's a wrong way. Guess what I've done? Better luck this time, man. Got the power point here. Another one for the fridges. What I've done is run it underneath the bus, down the other side, and it comes up over here, because this is where we're going to have our electric panel, I would say. Everything from the battery, everything from the solar, everything is going to come in over there. I mean, it's going to run along the back. So what we have is a plug point, run about here, or maybe near the kitchen. We have one for the water pump, which is going to stay where it is, under the bed. And another cable to a plug point around window height at the back. The brown cable is for lighting, which is going to be somewhere along the top there. And there I see I missed a piece of insulation. See, good thing we checked. That one is a light there. Might be a light coming up here somewhere. There's got to be a connection to the fan over here. Of course, we need lights in the bathroom, would be nice. And it all runs along the top here in that little gap, which is quite nice, and it comes out all over here. So that's going to be a bit of a neatening up effort later on. Now we can start with the insulation, the second layer, which is a silver foil, which is quite good actually. And here is the ATI 150 Plus. It's got 2 layers of aluminium, it's got a little bit of a foam in between, and some air bubbles. So that's going to give us another extra insulation, because obviously we've put the panels on the walls, we haven't put it on here. We can't get in there, we can't put anything in there, so we need to get another layer of insulation on there, which is going to probably help the whole thing and hopefully stop the little heat transfer over here. On each of the uprights and along the bottom. Yeah, not a very pretty job underneath the bus. There's a lot more room under a landy, I can tell you that. It's about this much between you and the bottom of the van. Very dirty obviously, but had to be done. Had to drag those cables down from the left hand side underneath to the right hand side, get everything grouped together. That was the dirtiest part of the day, but we've made a lot of progress, you know.